where might our viewers see your video? Is there anything on YouTube?
We proactively have put almost every video we have on a Facebook page. And it's the product line is called RocketCam. That's the whole family of what we're talking about here. And so we have a page called RocketCam by Ecliptic, which is the short version of our name. And you can just be a friend of that, and then on there's like 110 video clips. Hours worth of this video of mostly launches, a few spacecraft kind of applications, but mostly it's launches. Lots of shuttle and Delta launches. So that's one place. If you go on YouTube and just search for the single word RocketCam, you'll get probably 10 or 15 of those out of 110. There's quite a few. And you'll get also some amateur rocket, almost bottle rocket class onboard cameras, because that community also calls them rocket cams, but it's all fun, so we don't sue them for that. That is our product name. The third place is if you go to Spaceflight Now, which is what I think is one of the best websites that covers space. They have a special subscription service called Spaceflight Now Plus, which costs $50 a year. And on there they have, in a given year, they have hundreds and hundreds of video clips from all these different missions that they cover. And if you just do a search, once you get into that system for RocketCam, you'll get probably 40 or 50 video clips from all these different missions. And those are the three best ways to go. And hopefully by the end of the year, we might have a bunch of these on YouTube as a dedicated YouTube page, just like we do Facebook now, so you don't have to be a friend. But that's where we are now. I used to put them on, back when we only had 40 missions or so, I'd put the top 25 clips or so on a DVD and fill it up with a nicely indexed series of these things. And there got to be so many really great videos that I wanted to show. I ran out of room, and so I quit making them. But during the first 4 or 5, 6 years of the company, I handed out about 14 or 15,000 of those DVDs. That was my marketing tool, which was a great way to spread it around. But it just got to be I couldn't put all the stuff I wanted on there, so I gave up.
It seems to have worked well if you're 11 years into it now.
Yeah. Now we have in this community especially, we have a pretty good brand awareness. Almost everybody knows who we are, so that's what you want. And in some cases, most people, I think, if they see the video on SpaceX's Falcon rockets, most people think it's our stuff. Because they just assume it must be ours, so that's kind of cool. One thing I wanted to say is there's a lot of discussion in this conference we're at now, the NewSpace 2011 conference, about how it seems like even Congress and the general public doesn't quite understand what's happening in the post-shuttle era. And the negative reports in the media are that we're turning into a third world country because we no longer have a human space program, and we're giving up everything we had gained over the last 50 years, and all this doom and gloom. And there's a general perception, I think, if people aren't following all this, that we're just throwing in the towel and giving up on this human stuff. And I think it's worth mentioning that it's about the most exciting time I've ever had in my whole career, because finally we're getting away from just a government-dominated human space program to at least partly a commercial one, which in every other era, every other arena where the government's kind of gotten off to the side and let commerce take over, things blossom. The internet, FedEx, telecom, almost everything you can think of. When the government kind of steps aside and lets commercial interests get interested in it, then things really seem to take off. Aviation. So in my mind, this is really, really exciting. The shuttle program did its thing, kind of did what it was supposed to, but not nearly as cost effectively as it was advertised to do. And it's just time to move on and get into a new arena. And I'm really excited about the commercial prospects here, where we'll see a lot more variety. We'll see a lot more creativity. The prices are going to come down. I think for the dollar anybody's spending on this stuff, you'll get a lot more for that dollar eventually. And people need to realize this is really exciting. It's not depressing. It's exciting. And right on the heels of this commercial human stuff, which is happening, with suborbital coming first and then eventually orbital, right on the heels of that are the commercial ventures that might actually get to the moon someday. And I'm guessing it'll be in the next, before the end of this decade. We'll have commercially sponsored landers landing cargo on the moon and instruments, not humans, but robotic vehicles. I think there will be some that maybe will 10 or 15 years from now we'll get some of that going to Mars and start a cascading economy out there that's mostly driven by commercial interests. And the trick is who's going to figure out where to make the money. You have to have a market for this stuff. So, and it'll be a public-private thing, or a public and private partnership where NASA will be sort of an anchor tenant for a lot of these things, like the biggest store at the mall, the big department store. There'll be the big gorilla there, and then all these other interests will pop up. And to make all that happen is going to be really fun. And so I'm really excited about it.